Okay, core teachers, this is Mr. Galt, and I'm going to take you through our form that we're going to use for our common assessment cycle. This form is built around the professional learning community's 4 questions. The first question is, what do we want students to know and be able to do? Here we'll list our standard. Then you will go down here and list specific concepts and skills, being mindful of the depths of knowledge as we want to build assessments and learning tasks that are in all of the levels. Here it is identifying economic factors of colonization, and that is a lower level, or level 1 of the depths of knowledge. We move over and we go to the skills that this assessment will ask students to be able to do, and that is supporting arguments with evidence. Then the overarching content or topic or concept is European exploration and colonization. This was for standard, I think 8.4.1 of the 8th grade social studies standards. Question 2, how will we know if they've mastered the essential learning? Here we list specific look-fors in student work and behavior that will guide us to what we want students to know and be able to do. So what specific content do you want them to know and be able to do, and what specific skills? Down here we'll list the data from our assessment A. We will not report on assessment B this year. This is only assessment A data. Here we're going to report 3 different categories: proficient, some risk, and at risk. Proficient is 8 out of 10 on the assessment. Some risk is 7 out of 10, and at risk is 6 or less out of 10. And that is at risk of mastering the concept or skill or knowledge that we want them to be able to know or do. And we put this in here in this table, and if I had 120, this is an example, and 60 of them were proficient, that would be 50%. If 40 of them were at some risk, that means they scored 7 out of 10. That would be 33%. That's at some risk of my students. And then if 20 of them scored 6 or less, that would be 16%. Now, what are we going to do? Okay, what were the strengths of the students? This forces us to look a little deeper into the numbers than just a percentage. So what were the specific strengths of the proficient group? Well, here I used provided evidence. What is the next step? Maybe use a primary source document to extend their learning. Some risk group, what were their strengths? Well, they were able to identify some of the factors. What were their weaknesses? Okay, did not provide evidence. So I'm going to do a workshop on providing evidence for them. Then at risk, okay, group, they are maybe their strengths were they knew some of the factors, and what am I going to do? I'm going to reteach small group video. Okay, here is based on our evidence or based on our data, and being a little bit more specific with the data, we are going to break down and create a goal that we have between A and B. So A's been our best shot instruction. Here's the data. Here are some observations from that data. Now here's a goal for us between A and B. And the goal is the percentage of all students. It could be all students. It could be a specific group of students scoring proficient or higher in 8th grade social studies, or in this specific standard, okay, will increase from 50 to 80% after reteaching as measured by assessment B administered on a certain date. So it could be like 8th grade social studies, that is in the broad sense, but it could be scoring proficient or higher in a certain standard or indicator. Okay. Question 3, what will we do to respond when students don't master the learning? Okay, you will go through here and it asks for specific concepts that will be targeted or prioritized, actual strategies that adults will do. Okay, for instance, here it's finding and citing evidence is the concept or skill to address, and I'm going to model and teach exemplar answer, and then do some guided practice. And I'm going to do that with all the students Okay, obviously not the proficient students, but all the other students, the close to proficient, which are the some risk, and then the at-risk students, which could be divided into two groups, which they did here is far to go and not likely to master. And identifying factors. Identifying factors is another prioritized concept or skill, and I'm going to reteach using maybe a video, and I'm going to do that with my far to go and not likely. And then the last part here, as we move down, is other factors that possibly impeding mastery of learning, and this would only be filled out after we have done this part up here. Okay, what factors still contributed to some of those students that did not master? Well, maybe it was student attendance. What actions did I take? Well, I called home and I met with the students. And then question number 4, and this is the last question of the professional learning community. Emphasis here is, what do we do if they have already mastered the learning? So there are some students that will master it right away, and what are we going to do with them? Well, we're solving, maybe here would be they're solving complex problems using some, like I said earlier, primary document, okay, and adult actions. So just go through our process here. You will fill this out. Okay, each assessment cycle, okay, you will fill it out for A only, A data only, and you will turn this in after we reflect on each of the mornings after the horizontal week. There's one morning that we will get together in the library. You will have this filled out coming in, and you will take your group through this. There will be some protocols to that meeting, and then you will turn it in. Okay, you can type it out or you can write it out, not a problem. Remember, our common assessments are 6 questions, 5 being content-driven questions. The first 5, each worth 1 point, and then the 6th question is worth 5 points, and it is a skill-based question based on Conley's intellectual standards. If there are any questions with this process, we can always reflect in our team leader meetings and at other times, and you can always come and ask me or have a conversation with me. Thanks. Have a great day.